Hi everyone, this is Cherry Enchantress with Pixie Dust Tarot, and this is your daily dust for Monday, May 8th. If you're watching in real time, but it can be for whenever you stumble upon it, it's a timeless reading. I'm always referring back to the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, and here we are. We're just going to go ahead and use one. This one is the Centennial Edition, and it's very nice. It's borderless, and I love borderless decks. And the only thing I don't like about this one, though, even though it's borderless, it does have the little mark on each one of them. Sometimes you find the decks have like little dates or something on the edge, but all of these decks have these little swirly things. Oh yeah, see. You had not the date, but like some kind of, see, I don't really like that too much, but yeah, the date, 2009 US games. But if you can find one that doesn't have these kinds of markings, then you know that you have an old original version. I gave my oldest version away to my daughter. So here's a new one, and I like collecting clones. There's one out there that is so cute. It's called the Ugly Drawn. It's cute. It's a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, and it's drawn adorably, but it's called Ugly. But it's not ugly. It's very cute, and it's got a rainbow edge on it. All right, but let's see what this deck will get us. The energies that we need for this day, whenever you stumble upon it. I'm going to have 3 cards to give us our collective message. Thank you if you're returning and you visit me often, and if you're new, welcome. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. All right, let's see what we have. We have, the Tower. What was I thinking about Tower? Oh, that's funny. Lightning hit something. The Lovers. Tower and the Lovers. That's very interesting. And the Page of Cups. Okay, let's zoom on in and try to see what this means. In a daily mundane situation, I feel like Tower may not be quite as dramatic as what it appears in the picture. Usually, Tower moments can range from anything as a small, let's say, squabble or misunderstanding to outright, maybe having really bad weather, so a serious shakeup, a serious moment in your life that changes things a lot. Tower moments happen, and when it's the reason why it's difficult to handle, because it's usually something that we're not prepared for, or that we didn't expect, that we didn't anticipate. And the best thing to do when a Tower moment happens is it's not the thing itself, it's just usually what you do afterwards. How you move past it, how you move to the next thing. Tower moments can happen from triggered things, triggered conversations, triggered moments. Tower moments can happen when there's some kind of change that you just don't like, that you just maybe resist, some kind of resistance. The good thing about Tower moments, though, because sometimes we may keep things to ourselves, or there's a lot of things that don't get resolved, then it causes enough tension and friction that finally things sort of get let out into the open. And then after a Tower moment, sometimes you get some really good communication, and things flow better than they did before, because you were able to really, really connect and figure out what's going on. But you notice there's lots of times when people keep things to themselves, or keep secrets, or hide things, or try not to stir the waters, or try not to rock the boats and things like that, where actually sometimes they're doing the wrong thing, and it may cause issues. My my recommendation for anybody who's watching this reading, even if you're not a big Disney person and you're not into animation, you should really, really watch the movie Encanto. Encanto is a really beautiful movie. Encanto in Spanish means enchanted or enchant, and that's what I'm all about, enchanting. And sometimes the messenger, the deliverer of a message, sometimes is blamed for the issue, but it's not really the messenger that did the wrong. So Mirabel in the movie Encanto, she is kind of the messenger. She's sort of a spiritual one trying to bring this message. There's something wrong with this house, but nobody wants to hear her. They're in denial. They think everything's fine if they just keep going with masking the problem and masking the problem, but not actually getting to the heart of the matter. And because they keep staying in denial and they don't face it, the house starts to physically react to their lies, and they're betraying each other and their behavior and all of that. And then finally it falls apart, and it's a story, a tower story. It's about this house crumbling down and being rebuilt with truth and honesty and justice and love and camaraderie and strength and community, all of it. And so that's kind of what I see here, because after the tower we have this beautiful lover connection. So something within this tearing down of something builds something up here, a partnership of some sort, a love connection or whatever. But the Page of Cups definitely feels like love, and because it's the page, it represents amazing, loving, beautiful communication. So don't worry about a day like today. It's going to be, if it is an argument, it'll be small and minor, and it will open up the doors to better understanding. The other thing that tower sometimes represents to me, and often in the tarot, is because as you see, there's a crown on the top, and the people are falling down. It's almost the higher you are, the farther you have to fall. This is kind of about, sometimes this has to do with officials, people in high positions, people who think they're better than others, people who are richer or have power because of their richness or wealth or whatever, and not necessarily have their position by the best means. And the tower knocks them down because they got there by deceitful ways or by the wrong reasons. So that's another variation of the tower thing. It may not be happening to you personally at all. It could be some energy around you that's happening to some corporation or somebody you know or something like that. It's just somebody who's kind of getting their just desserts because they thought too much of themselves. They thought they were untouchable and they weren't, They come crashing down. It's kind of weird that we just had a king crowned. And, king is fine, though. The king is fine. But, we've had people protesting the whole thing, too. So it could represent protesters as well. Not that I have any feelings towards it. I feel like royalty is an interesting aspect, but there's definitely lots of criticism where that's concerned as well. But this could just be it could be conversations, because we have the page here, conversations. It could be study, because page represents study. It could be a novice or a new way of looking at something. It could be innocent or childlike. It could be youthful or talking with younger people, or somebody who just has a kind of a more young approach to looking at things, or somebody who's just speaks from the heart or has a heartfelt message. So if you didn't have the tower here at all, it would be just to me like heart full of love, like a Cosette moment. In fact, Les Mis is kind of an interesting example of this too. Les Mis, there's this love story within this turmoil, because Les Miserables is all about a revolution and fighting against the forces that seem to limit people. And this is like a love energy blooming within this in this environment. And to be honest, in Les Mis, a lot of unhappy things happen in this show, but the love story does, and may, you know, have a happily ever after energy to it. So it's good to know that even though there's not everybody gets their happily ever after, there are some people who do, even in the middle of strife and stress and struggles. Some people will, and especially because of that, because of love. To be honest, an approach of love is the way that you heal things and make things better. I mean, to get to the top through dubious means is not anything that will keep you at the top. It'll eventually come crumbling down. So just be aware of that. But also true, like good things, I mean, bad things happen to good people sometimes. So that is true, and you don't deserve it if something bad happens to you. So then what do you do? Then you have to, you know, take in the energy, grieve if you need to, take a moment to reset, get your second wind, look around, and then start to see the good that's around you and go from there. Because you know, there's always, to me, a silver lining in any situation, and actually think this is always going to be something that you grow from, because the next card after the Tower is the Star, and the Star is full of hope and endless possibilities and renewal and rebirth. And so that's where I think you'll definitely be headed this day. But to be honest, unless it's some kind of weather situation, I think for most of you, it probably will just be a minor thing that just opens up a good communication. And that's it. And I hope you like that. Faith, Trust, and Pixie Dust.